feels like it's going to be a very yelly episode. Welcome back to Rainbow Remo, a series where we recap all of our favorite queer/queer adjacent media. Noticing I didn't use this intro before? Wow, that sounds like it's among things you should keep to yourself. Okay. Branding is a journey. Sorry, if you see a gnat, there's one terrorizing me, and I'm trying to capture it. So last time we covered episodes 1 through 4 of the first season of Noah's Ark. This will cover the rest of the first season, episodes 5 through 9. There's a lot that goes on. There's a lot of people that we meet. There's a lot. So we're just gonna hop back into it. The title is Nothing Going On But the Rent for episode 5, which is taken from the song from Gwen Guthrie, Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent. We catch back up with our friends at the swap meet. Alex and Noah are looking for Chance because he told them to meet them there.
What up, dog?
I'm gonna say this right now. If seeing Sadiddy as Chance doing this Ice Cube cosplay is immediately upsetting to you, I would strongly suggest to just skip this episode and like the last half of the next one, where you see him adorned with a bandana, a jersey, a gold chain, and brand new vernacular. He's gone from professor of economics to nigga with attitude really quick. Ricky finally joins the group and joins in on the bewilderment. Turns out Chance, newly crowned Lil C, is doing a social experiment, kind of, even before it was cool on YouTube. He is getting thug lessons from T-Money to explore gay black men's fascination with thug culture, namely Eddie's fascination with thug culture. Chance's friends express their concern, but he goes on to say, without answering them, there is so much more of this, and I'm not gonna dwell on it too intently right now, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Get used to it for the rest of this episode. Next, we see Wade and Noah leaving the latter's place. A letter is attached to the door, and Noah grabs it, revealing that it is a 3-day notice for an eviction. This sours Noah's mood, because why wouldn't it? And what doesn't help is to see Wade's receipts for his lavish purchases.
You paid $7,000 for a TV?
It's plasma.
$7,000 of plasma?
Wade buckles down and asks the real questions and tries to see why Noah is a little upset right now. When Noah casually mentions he owes $4,000, Wade goes to get his checkbook. And you know what? As an Ohio girl, I catch a lot of flack when I say I can't see myself living in a city like Los Angeles or New York, just because I don't feel like I could pay like more than like $2,000 in rent for one bedroom. Like, that's ridiculous. Then I get hit with is, oh, because you live in boring Ohio and we're paying for the location, and like, okay, I'll be all that, bitch. I'll be all that. Come up off my neck, and I bet I run my water in peace. How about that? Wade slides over the check and tells Noah if he doesn't want this to happen again, he needs to get a real job, especially if he's set on not contacting Brandy, which I would think is fair that he doesn't want to talk to her given the situation. Hey, you remember that threesome that we were supposed to do? Anyways, that was fun. Can I get a job? He says that Noah's writing is merely a hobby until he starts making money from it. But I want to know, if Noah doesn't have any discernible income, how did he get this place in the first place? Like, how does he have this apartment that seems to be expensive, seems to have a nice location, seems to be spacious, like by himself? Were they not doing first month, last month, and a pay stub to get a place in LA back then? Did you just say, nah, I'm gonna make it one day? Trust me. And the landlord just believed you? Noah's hurt by the sentiment and rejects Wade's offering, saying that he has to figure it out for himself. Noah ends up selling his car in a sad montage where Wade then takes the leap for Noah to contact Brandy. Alex pulls up at work where he meets Fernando. Fernando is out looking for a date, hoping to turn that date into a cash opportunity. He convinces Fernando to come get tested by buying his time. While the HIV test is processing, Alex's boss comes in saying some super regressive shit, not truly caring about the people in need, but the investor's bottom line.
You calling trash? Hush, son, the grown-ups, they're talking.
The boss insults Fernando, which leads to him running out. After he leaves, Alex finds out that the test was positive. Are you invested in Fernando's journey? Stop that. Stop that immediately. We will literally never see this boy again. I will give the credit that it is possible that maybe he's in a background scene somewhere. However, Michael Esparza, who plays Fernando, is only listed for this one episode of Noah's Ark, so I doubt it. However, this does serve as a catalyst for a decision that will ultimately change things for Alex in the future. Wade's concern for Noah has grown to the point where he'll work with the ops because he heads into Ricky's store. Ricky has his store completely unmanned. A customer is circulating circulating and capitalizing on this fact because he just walks out with clothes in hand. We see Ricky a few moments later with a man who is actively still clothing himself in the middle of the store upon his exit. Wade is dumbfounded by this, and this puts him in no mood to deal with Ricky's sarcasm. He continues onward regardless and levels with Ricky, catching him up on Noah's situation, including the selling of his car. Do I think that that car would have covered all 4 of those thousands? Absolutely not. But that is what we are to believe. Wade finds out through Ricky that Noah's birthday is actually coming up. And Wade plays it off like he knew the entire time. And somehow Ricky believes him enough and applauds him for it. Wade leaves with a comment.
You might want to think about locking that door if you're going to be in the back doing whatever. I bet you lose a lot of merchandise that way.
Why are you booing him? He's right. Noah pulls up on a bike to meet his friends for lunch. While they already know what the answer is thanks to Ricky sharing what Wade said, they ask what happened to his car. Noah tells them that he had to sell his car to catch up on rent. While they generously say they could have helped, Noah declines, saying that he already owes them money and he feels like he needs to handle the situation on his own. Next scene cuts to Wade lovingly tackling Noah with soon-to-be birthday greetings, giving Ricky 0 credit, by the way, and Noah just accepting his answer that he just knew.
I thought you didn't celebrate birthdays growing up Jehovah's Witness.
This feel like a Jehovah's Witness to you.
They're kissing and ignoring religious trauma together when Noah's house phone rings, and on the other line is Brandy, setting a meeting for the following day. Also, is my glasses dirty? I'm gonna be sick if my glasses are dirty. I'm not re-recording anything. Also, I do want to take this moment while the fashion remains under deserved scrutiny. The hair consistently slays this entire series across the entire cast. The key hairstylist is listed as Brian Banks, and Brian, you did what needed to be done. They look great. We now get to see inside of Brandy's office. Noah's there for their meeting and she is singing the praises of his writing. Noah casually brings up the threesome, but like, why would you? Why would you? And she says that was fun. Now this is business. Brandy then presents Noah with his first gig, which is rewriting an action flick.
But this is Wade's script.
No, this is business.
Messy. She's messy for this, actually. She's messy. She knows that Wade and Noah are together in some capacity. Like, she has to. And it just so happens to be the most perfect project for him is to take his man's job. But also, she's an icon and she did nothing wrong. I'm so sorry. I am a Brandy apologist. Noah and Chance enter a building that is really leaning heavy on the fixer part of Fixer Upper. All for Alex to share that this is going to be his new office and is going to be prioritizing treatment where the need is. He has deemed it the Black AIDS Institute and he's on a mission to better serve his community. This speaks to an issue that has unfortunately been prevalent for many, many years. Black and brown people's needs not being seen as essential or being put to the side. My city even has orgs that focus on Black and brown care when it comes to HIV/AIDS treatment, because that can be the most neglected part of the community. He enlists his friends' help to assist him in pursuing this endeavor. Ricky's questionable business practices are immediately explained to me when we find out that his family runs a charitable foundation. All makes sense now.
Charitable foundation? I knew your family was rich, but damn, they rolling like that? Rolling like that?
We're not done with Lil C yet, because the next scene is him driving T-Money's car, giggling as the hydraulics go off. They seem to be having a fine, magnificent time until the police lights flare up behind them. Chance pulls over, and the second that he is parked, T-Money dips, leaving him to fend for himself against the police. Luckily, this is not the part where I have to put a police brutality warning, because Chance is immediately cleared to go. He's a little shaken now, but he is clearly ready to get the hell out of there.
He took the keys? He took the keys.
He took the keys. Chance calls Noah, who is wearing the sweater he got from Romeo, and it looks really good, from inside a payphone. Noah doesn't know how to help because he's currently carless and he's at a restaurant and Wade's not even there yet. Chance cowers in fear away from the Suburbans with boosted bass, really feeling like a fish out of water. And you can tell him he ain't learned a thing because he still got all his jewelry on and out. Need a refund for them lessons. Noah says he'll call Ricky to help. Chance doesn't seem exactly thrilled by, but he's not in a position to be a beggy chooser. Noah calls up Ricky, who is resistant to go. However, he's swayed after hearing the only other option is for Noah to pull up on his Huffy. Ricky goes to head up when he meets a man at the door.
You with the caterers? You're late. Everyone's already inside.
Nah, I'm Tony. You called my aunt. You said you needed a stripper for your friend's birthday party?
Oh, yeah. I didn't recognize you without the G-string.
Ricky takes the opportunity to make sure that his newfound friend knows exactly where the bathroom is. And he doesn't make any progress picking up his stranded best friend. Noah brought the script to dinner and is making edits and notes as Wade walks in, which is wild. I feel like this is a project you could have left at home, but it does show us that he did take the job because rent is due and he just got caught up. Wade apologizes for being late and tells him he can't wait to get him home, and Noah is holding on to a secret. Chance is scared by an errant gunshot and scrambles into the phone booth again like it's a safe room in a video game. And he calls Ricky. You see that call go unanswered because Ricky is meet to meet with that dancer in the bathtub. They have underwear on because it's still like television, but like, you know. Noah is trying to tell Wade how he accidentally poached his script as they prepare to walk into Noah's apartment. However, he is surprised to see a room full of people who we mostly will never see again. Like, who is this white man? Who are you? Do we know them? They're unimportant. It's fine. We circle back to Chance, who is seen climbing into Eddie's car. This is how Uber and Lyft keeps us saner. We don't have to call our exes for rides in desperation. My Taurus rising would have me admit to nothing. Would have me figure out where the closest public transit is.
Is the bus still running?
Eddie asks Chance what he's doing in that area, but sir, you were not called there for your conversation. You were called there for your transportation. Please get me out of here. Eddie and Chance walk into Noah's party together. Noah checks in to see if he's okay, but also asks where Ricky is because in Noah's lore, Ricky is the one that was supposed to get Chance.
Good question. Where is Ricky?
They have second sight or something, I guess, and immediately go to the bathroom where Ricky is now sandwiched in between two men. With a scoff, they leave Ricky to his own devices. Back in the main party, Alex observes Wade's friend Guy chatting up Trey.
No, who is that muscle-bound Negro that's been all up in Trey's love since we got here? That's Wade's friend Guy. He's straight. Ain't no tea there.
Right after this show of jealousy, Alex hears the news that Trey is going to take up some shifts with Guy to make up for Alex quitting his job. Conflict. I'm not sure if T-Money was invited to this event by anybody. Like, I don't know who would have invited him. Like, maybe Chance told him about it, but also how does he know where Noah lives? I don't have time for this. But he walks in and sees Chance and asks to talk, which Chance says he will allow him 1 minute exact. They separate from the party and T-Money and him go have a chat. T-Money admits that when he saw the police lights, he ran off because he has some devil's lettuce in his pocket. He's already working with 2 strikes and he didn't want to be dinged for a 3rd. Chance just wants to be done, saying the whole point of this was to see that there wasn't a huge disparity between the way that he lives his life and the way that T-Money lives his. Chance goes to pay for the final lesson, which I am so curious on what those rates were.
I don't want your money.
And what do you want?
Ain't it obvious?
Now, Eddie, why are you coming in huffing and puffing? You are absolutely still in the outs right now. Chance is criminally polite and goes for the most awkward introduction ever, where Eddie asserts himself as his boyfriend. Apparently, he missed the last couple of episodes because that's not what I heard. That's not what I heard personally. T-Money and Eddie argue about titles as Chance excuses himself to the restroom. Noah is still harboring this news and wants to talk.
Can we go in the bedroom?
Nah, baby. Let's go outside.
Now, Chance is just looking for a moment of peace. There has been a lot that has happened within the last few minutes. Ricky finds this to be the best opportunity to chat everything out.
Chance, I'm sorry.
I know, Ricky. I know.
Chance has heard that Ricky thinks his absolution will come in a murmured sorry, considering his reasons for not coming and helping his friend in need amounted to him getting it on with a stripper in a bathroom.
Don't forget the waiter.
I've seen better timing in a middle school jazz band concert. And I get to say that because I was in that middle school jazz band concert. To be clear, my timing was fine. Noah and Wade are outside the building where Noah starts to stammer out the news. Wade cuts him off and prompts him to turn around, revealing his car decked out with a massive bouquet and a bow. Noah is speechless and pulls him into a hug. Wade also takes this opportunity to show off that he also wrapped the car in cute little string lights. It's corny as hell, sure, but like, it's cute, whatever.
Now, what were you gonna tell me?
I think I love you.
Do you think?
The scene in the episode ends with Noah's friend sprinkling rose petals from the balcony, which includes Eddie simply because he is there, as the song Flowers in the Window, sang by the creator Patrick Ian Polk, plays. So at the end of this episode and other episodes featured in the series that talk about HIV/AIDS, it does include a card for www.blackaids.org, a website that is still active today. So our friends have had a lot going on this episode. Noah goes from the brink of eviction to booked and blessed at Wade's expense, but he doesn't doesn't know that yet. Alex has made a major career decision and has also gained a new spark of jealousy as Trey forms a friendship with the straight guy, or the straight guy. Guy. The Lil C era isn't completely over yet, be forewarned, but we see a new love triangle develop between T-Money, Chance, and Eddie. And Ricky was just kind of a shitty friend this episode, outside of using his parents' money to benefit Alex and coordinating the group to help support Noah in his time of need. But like, also that was like mostly Wade, I guess. Shitty friend this episode. Chance and Ricky don't really return to the tension created in this episode. It's more or less brushed off. Either way, we have some very big things happening, so let's roll right into the next one. Episode 6 is Writing to Reach You, which is taken from the song Writing to Reach You by Travis, a Scottish rock band. That is my best guess. Anyway, I could be wrong. Noah and Wade are about to eat lunch, and while looking for some napkins, Noah runs across some past due bills.
It's nothing. I'm just having a little cash flow problem. Once my rewrite funds kick in, I'll be straight. No pun intended.
I think this is a small but cute moment as Wade continues to get more comfortable with his sexuality, but the lightheartedness is very short-lived when Noah finally tells Wade his news that he's been holding on to. That he got a gig writing, which is good. However, he also admits that it is a rewrite of Bait and Switch, which is Wade's Bait and Switch. Wade is absolutely rocked by this news and sprints into the bathroom to throw up the bite of the burger he had. We see the guys in Alex's clinic, Noah catching them up on what happened with Wade. Turns out, after the puking episode, he just left Noah's place. Chance inquires how broke Wade is, and Noah says everything's later past due. Alex is a little bit strict on getting everything together inside the clinic.
You got the order all wrong. I need the HIV posters on the wall over here and the STDs on the wall over there.
That's not what you said before.
That's what I'm saying now.
Trey and Guy bring in some supplies that Guy has gotten donated from the hospital. Alex is still not so sure what Guy's intentions are, and he has to be nudged by Trey to even cough up a proper thank you. Alex is biting back that green-eyed monster and feels the need to stake his claim a little bit. Noah shares the news that a volunteer just called and said that they cannot be there tonight. So Alex asks everyone who wants to help. They're all avoiding eye contact to sidestep the duty as Junito walks in. Junito is played by the icon Wilson Cruz, who's already been a part of quintessential queer television, playing Ricky Vasquez on My So-Called Life, one of the first instances of an openly gay teen on television ever. Here he plays a resident at the local hospital who's going to be handling late night testing at the clinic. Junito asks for the grand tour, and at this, suddenly Ricky becomes eager to help out for the evening and tells Junito that he'll be doing reception.
If I can help out a friend in need and get some hot ass in the process.
After going through the items that Trey and Guy brought, Alex finds out that they are actually not the ones they need. Chance gets a phone call, which he answers, and he flirtatiously tells the person on the other end to stop asking him out. Like, seriously, stop it. He gets stared at pretty hard by his friends, and Ricky asks if it's Eddie, which he immediately says it isn't, which gives everyone some relief, but now they're just curious. Chance admits that it is in fact T-Money making his hotline bling. Apparently, since the kiss at the party, T-Money has been on that phone trying to get Chance out for a date, and Chance is talking about it, being all coquettish about it. Noah's worried about Wade, and Ricky tells him to chill.
It's not like you stole his job on purpose.
He didn't steal it at all.
I'm torn on what team to be here, low-key. There's nuances of the situation, as there is to most, but I don't really have a clear side to be on. Noah needs money. The money that he was offered so happens to be for rewriting Wade's script. However, Wade also needs money. Honestly, the strain on this relationship is capitalism, but that's a whole nother video. Noah doesn't want to be the bad guy in this situation, and he's trying to find a compromise that will satisfy both of their needs and bank accounts. So the next scene brings us to Noah entering Wade's apartment, proposing that they work on the rewrite together and then they can split the revenue. Wade is still pretty defeated, saying that he's not the one that the studio hired, but Noah was. Wade considers this to be charity, even though like an episode ago you were about to break off $4K for him. Like, what does that qualify as? Toxic masculinity be beating y'all's ass. Noah insists that he needs the help and that he wouldn't even have the job if it wasn't for Wade. Cute nuzzling turns into callous fighting before you know it, doesn't it? Wade is combating every change that Noah is proposing, and it's causing some resentment on both sides of the table. Noah says that they should take a break and he has to go meet the guys for lunch anyway. Wade leaves it ambiguous on if he'll actually be here when he returns. At lunch, Noah is expressing his irritation at Wade for being too invested in the material to change anything. Ricky again stresses that Noah kind of stole his job, which Noah defends himself against the allegations. Chance is getting a little impatient for food because he has to pick up Kenya.
Didn't your obligations to that child end with your failed relationship with her father?
It doesn't work like that, Ricky.
Chance explains that he didn't just commit to Eddie when he moved in, but he also committed being there for Kenya. I have a few friends that co-parent parent with their exes still show up for their ex's kids, even if it's not their kid. And I think it's reasonable to not just want to sever those ties that can be jarring for the kid. And it doesn't feel that Kenya should have to lose that parental figure just because her daddy is a lying-ass, cheating-ass, baby-back bitch. That's how I said it. I don't think that's how he said it, but that's how I said it. Hold on to your seats because you might get whiplash from this topic change.
Do you think Trey's cheating?
While most of the group just brushes this off, Ricky does mention that Trey and Guy have been hanging out a lot recently. Noah insists that Alex just needs to communicate with Trey. At this, Ricky switches the convo again, just to mention that Junito has a major in communications before he switched to medicine, and he learned this from talking. Stunning. He also goes on to list some of Junito's other accolades. Noah notices that none of those accolades was his butt, so he's like, how was the sex? Ricky admits that they did not tango naked quite yet. Considering everything we know about Ricky at this point, everyone at the table is a little shocked. Ricky says they're just friends, which Noah adds that he notoriously only has 3 friends, and they're all at the table. Everyone else he flagrantly sleeps with and just goes on about his day. Ricky says he's taking a new leaf. This is something he does now. We're still at lunch when Chance gets a call from T-Money, which he puts on speaker. Yet again, he is asking him out for a date.
That whole thug lesson thing was fun, but it was merely an
opportunity for you to explore gay black men's obsession with more hip-hop identified males I know.
This gags Chance and his friends low-key, causing Chance to take him off speakerphone and listen with a genuine curiosity. T-Money says that he'll come over after Eddie picks up Kenya with some food and some DVDs. After they hang up, he shares with the group, after insisting that he would not, that he does indeed have a date with T-Money. Noah gets home to find a sleeping Wade, whom he crawls on top of and delivers some light kisses to wake him up. Noah is trying to get a little something started, placing some lube on his finger as Wade is turned around on his stomach. And he goes exploring in places that Wade was not ready to have explored. And this is why you talk to your partners before you start poking stuff that they might not want to have poked. Wade sets a very understandable boundary here, that he is not alright with what happened because he's not into it or down with it. And you can write this off as DL Top doesn't want his booty hole touched, but I think it's totally reasonable to be upset with the situation. Noah got to take his own communication advice. So we now find Noah at his boiling point, feeling like everything has to be on Wade's terms, from the type of sex they engage in to the rewrite of the script. Wade is now enraged, saying that he should know what works with the script because he's the one that wrote it.
Obviously not. Or else the studio wouldn't have replaced you.
I'm gonna be honest, that's a bar I would reserve for a man I know I'm never talking to again. I am telling you, I would never talk to you again. I am deleting your number. I am blocking you. I never expect to breathe the same air as you again. Noah then leaves his own apartment to go finish this rewrite alone. In the evening, we see a do-rag Chance next to T-Money, cozy on the couch, chatting film and staring at each other all flirty-like. Chance and him share a kiss that seems to be the beginnings of a very heavy makeout session, when Eddie interrupts with a call requesting that he bring Kenya home. Even after offering just to have her spend the night at Chance's, he's adamant that he wants Kenya home. So Chance buckles and T-Money volunteers to drive. Inside Alex's clinic, Ricky asks Junito why he isn't at the county hospital and chose to be there instead. Junito says that he likes talking to Ricky and that he speaks with no fear and that he finds it refreshing and that he's a perfect gentleman. Ricky is taken aback. Junito further elaborates that Ricky is not like the other men that he's talked to that immediately try to just get in the sack. Though Ricky is a little bewildered by Junito's impression of him, as we, the audience, may also be. They hold hands and gaze into each other's eyes, all cute like. Ricky is slowly discovering that a deeper conversation with someone he is also attracted to is not a bad idea. What a concept! And Junito has a way to cut through all of Ricky's machismo and sees him as a person that has more depth. Chance comes in with T-Money into Eddie's home, lumbering Kenya being held by T-Money. Eddie starts yelling like the baby ain't sleeping. Chance explains that he had plans. Eddie didn't hold up his end of the bargain. Chance's plans continue. Eddie snatches up Kenya and says that he doesn't want to see T-Money in his house upon his return. Trying to banish him to the Outlands face ass. T-Money says that they should head out, but Chance says he needs to talk to Eddie and set some things straight. They share a kiss and T-Money goes to wait outside. Since we all should remember, he drove. That's a fun surprise fact that'll come in handy later. Eddie comes back downstairs yelling at Chance's face about having a thug around his daughter. I am not entirely against Eddie here. I believe that you should probably make the person you're co-parenting with aware of people you bring around the kid. But also Kenya was upstairs and asleep, so she would have met T-Money if Eddie wasn't so insistent on having Kenya home that night. I'm not going to further dig into this point. I'm yelling at Eddie here, but I do see why he's upset, even though his motivations aren't probably entirely clear. I'm gonna stop talking. Chance says that's not what he's mad about, and he's just mad that he now has to picture him with another man. How he bets it burns him up.
Same way it burned you up?
No, if you thought that was ridiculous, the scene isn't over. You have another thing coming, dear viewer.
Chance.
No. Call me Little C.
And it's even more ridiculous when you consider the fact that T-Money is just waiting for his date outside as his date hooks up with his ex. Or stand up. Chance takes a taxi back to his apartment, attempting to call T-Money, but finds him already on the steps of his place. T-Money had enough sense to leave during the impromptu rendezvous. Chance tries to explain himself, but T-Money already has guessed that Eddie got down with Chance and his little C. Chance levels with T-Money that he isn't in a place to date because he still loves Eddie, despite everything. Chance tells him that he's great, but they can't hang anymore. Before T-Money completely exits the series, I did want to give Kettaro Colbert his flowers. He was in a couple of one-off things prior to Noah's Arc, but he went on to do more voice acting roles, including Killer Bee and Naruto Shippuden. Good for him. This is like a really random career trajectory, but we love to see it, and we love to see more Black voice actors get work. Alex finds Noah in the clinic, him having spent the night there finishing working on his rewrite. Noah leaves to go turn it into the studio when Trey and Guy return with the correct supplies they need. After throwing a skosh of shade Guy's way, Alex asks Trey what time he plans on coming home. Trey tells him about 8 and then walks out while patting Guy on the back. Does not do much to temper Alex's bitterness towards Guy. We now see Chance in his classroom, Eddie walking in with a bouquet. Chance asks Eddie what's he even doing there, and Eddie says that they need to do it right this time and pulls out an entire ring.
Marry me.
Put it on you, make you wanna marry me. He was really like, I refuse to fumble you again. I gotta put it on lock. Gotta taste a little C and bought a ring. That's absolutely nutty. Chance has a lot to consider because despite being in love with this man, he also fully cheated on him. Alex walks into his apartment and he's expecting to see Trey there, but instead is met with an empty home. Alex listens to the voicemail in the machine, and it is Trey leaving a message saying that he will be spending the night at Guy's because they are working on some stuff around his place. Alex does not take this news well. Now we see Wade going into Noah's apartment, the rewritten script in hand, and he's ready to talk out his thoughts. Wade got the script because Noah left it on his doorstep. He says even though he loves his work, that Noah went a little too out there with the concept, and he agrees to help Noah with writing it and tweaking it to what it needs to be for the studio. He doesn't know that Noah already dropped it off to the studio. So Brandy calls, and Noah is braced for the worst. Brandy exclaims that she absolutely loved it. Wade's face falls upon hearing this, and his face falls even further when Noah puts Brandy on speaker to better share her praises. While Noah is super excited to hear his work has been appreciated at this level, and he should be excited, Wade is also trying hard to congratulate his partner while also coping with the loss of this project and also his bag.
We gotta celebrate.
You know what? I have some work of my own I need to finish. Mind if I take a rain check?
No, of course not. We can go out tomorrow night.
Cool. And I'm really proud of you.
Wade turns his face away and grants Noah a cheek kiss instead of something full on the lips. He then walks out, leaving Noah alone to revel in his success. But at what cost? We see Ricky and Janito eating some Panda Express, sitting crisscross applesauce, opening fortune cookies. With also all the candles lit in the world, what if there is an emergency? You doing this for a little ambiance? You could have had the same effect with like 50% less candles. You are one booty bump away from making that fire alarm go burr. Ricky confesses that he's not exactly the kind of guy that Janito perceives him to be, one that's kind and innocent. Janito tells him he knows he's not innocent, but does reassure him that he is a nice guy.
Which is Janito speak for kiss me.
They share a little kiss, and I'm all for this moment. But ain't y'all supposed to be working? You know what? This is a big deal for Ricky. I will holster my opinions until the next time I gotta yell at Ricky. Noah is at home enjoying a celebratory glass of champagne solo when he gets a knock at his door. He's hopeful that it's Wade, having changed his mind. However, he is instead greeted with Alex wearing a black turtleneck and holding a casserole dish. We see this duo pulling up outside of Guy's house. Alex alleges that his intentions are only to bring a surprise dinner for for Guy and Trey since neither of them know how to cook. Noah has become an accomplice because he's been to Guy's house by way of Wade. Noah is not completely understanding, asking why he didn't just call first. Alex goes on to affirm that this is totally normal and not in any way suspicious.
Stay in the car.
Because who hasn't delivered a stray casserole or two at night looking like a Sims 2 burglar? Alex creeps on the side of the house, hearing illicit sounds from outside the side door. He feels like this is irrefutable proof that Trey has been stepping out. He opens the door because it's just open, I guess. I feel like that's wildly unsafe, but that's neither here or there.
Don't move, bitch.
Noah comes in the backyard to scream at Guy to not shoot. Trey, who was sleeping on the pool chair, reveals the intruder to be Alex. And the episode ends with everyone staring at him floating at the edge of the pool. But also, like, my option for sleep at your place is to sleep outside on a lounge chair. I'm gonna go home. I don't really care about the circumstances. I'm going home. So we did a lot this episode, okay? So we have closed the chapter on T-Money and Lil C, a romance that started off weird, but honestly, I would have liked to see more of it, even if I couldn't stomach some of it. I think that Kateru brought a lot of charm to the role, and he has a big question for Chance, one that he hasn't answered yet at the episode's end. Ricky and Junito have some serious sparks flying around them. Alex's jealousy got the best of him, and it has left him in a particularly damp predicament. Noah and Wade have entered a conflict because while Wade wants to be really proud of his boyfriend, he's also hurt that it is an accomplishment gained from rewriting his script. But also, Noah got a bag to chase. You told him to get a job. He got one. Maybe this is not the result you were saying, but, you know, the universe listened. It just didn't listen in the way you wanted it to. I know that is a hell of a cliffhanger, so let's just get right back into it. I got you. You fucking got it. I'm not gonna show you. Fucking got it. I gotta clean my hands now. Fuck that thing. Episode 7, Love is a Battlefield, taken from the iconic song from Pat Benatar. We pick up right where we left off in episode 6. Trey is pacing angrily after talking to the police. Alex is begging Trey to talk to him to apologize.
I didn't mean to.
What? Almost get yourself killed?
I didn't think.
Sure you did. That's your problem. You think too much.
I think it says a lot about Trey that his first priority is Alex's safety and how he's angry because Alex could have gotten hurt. Trey is extremely pissed and tells Alex not to even talk to him. Alex tries to get up, but Noah stops him. Ricky and Chance get onto the scene and they ask what happened. While Noah tries to say they were just trying to bring over food, Trey re-enters fuming to describe it as it was. Alex was planning to invade the home to see if his man was up to anything nefarious. Noah further clarifies that everyone is fine, and he asks for the dry clothes that he asked them to bring. A very loopy Ricky hands him a bag, and Noah finds a feathery garment inside, which doesn't really help for post-aquatic adventures. They are now noticing that Ricky is acting pretty strange.
I think I'm falling in love.
We are now at the hospital with Ricky post-fainting spell. Junito is the one treating him and gets permission to speak in front of everyone. Everyone does include Alex wearing whatever Ricky brought, which admittedly is kind of cute. Looks like Ricky has picked up MRSA. Ricky gets asked 2 very different extremes on how he may have contracted it.
Ricky, have you visited any exotic countries recently? Do you frequent establishments for anonymous sex? Bathhouses, sex clubs?
Can we slow this car down because you're going too fucking fast? How did this checklist go to, hey, have you been to Brazil? To, do you be fucking raw in bathhouses? Is this the same checklist for everybody? When I was a freshman in high school, I had to go get checked out for MRSA because we had a case of it in our locker room. Do you think my mother would have been kind if they asked me if I had been to a back room of a bathhouse recently? Anyways, Ricky denies going to such an establishment, which causes side-eye from his friends. Junito suggests antibiotics as a course of treatment, but he does mention that he's also noticing some extremely swollen glands in some areas that can be concerning. Junito asks Ricky when his last HIV test was, which he responds with, never. This gives Alex a look of murder. Junito says that they can run a test through the clinic just as a precaution. Junito remains cheery around the suddenly sullen group of friends and tells him everything is gonna be fine. I don't think you're supposed to do that as a doctor, but that's fine. After Junito leaves the room, Alex immediately gets on Ricky's ass for never having an HIV test. Ricky has already resigned himself to the fate that he likely is positive due to the amount of sex that he has. And sometimes that sex is unprotected.
Right. You guys never had slip-ups.
Okay, Ricky low-key gathered them here. I don't care. He catches a lot of flack, deservedly so, but may he who has never forgotten a condom be the one to cast the first stone. Ricky absolutely should be getting tested more. Being safe in the heat of all moments and getting tested regularly are both important takeaways. Ricky begs for a subject change, where Chance shares that Eddie proposed to him. He asks the friends what he should do. A shock it may be, Alex and Ricky both say that he should go for it. Alex because he recently jeopardized his own relationship, and Ricky because he's having an ever so small come to Jesus moment. Noah is very much on Team No, considering that Eddie cheated and it upset Chance so much that he did some emergency demolition on the other man's house. Noah then puts his opinion in context, dwelling on the fact that he may have made his own man feel a little less than manly after snatching his job, albeit on accident. Could he have said no? Sure, but also, I can't blame him. Rent was due. Brady and Noah have a meeting discussing Noah's next assignment, which is a pitch to the studio. They're hoping to find something for Will Smith and Dave Chappelle, which is such a pairing of the time because I don't know people hollering for this collab in 2023. Noah says that it just so happens that he's working on a pitch with Wade. What a coinky dink. Brandy frowns at this. It's big can my boyfriend come to energy, and not everybody at the function like your boyfriend. Brandy says that Wade isn't really what it's hitting for nowadays, but she will give the pitch a chance because Noah is involved. We see Alex and Trey at couples counseling. Alex is trying to talk to Trey and fusses with his outfit, but Trey is not having it. Alex stresses the point that he has apologized and is seeking a resolution. In comes their therapist, played by the icon that is Adele Givens, a queen of comedy herself. The session starts with them answering what the main issue is in their relationship from each of their perspectives. Trey is saying that he feels overworked and feels like a lot is asked of him, not allowing for time for himself. Otherwise, Alex's jealousy would flare up. Alex retorts that it wouldn't be as stressful if Trey was still taking business time seriously.
So, Alex, you disagree with Trey's assessment that you're too demanding. You think it all boils down to a lack of excitement in the bedroom?
He's only quiet like that when he knows I'm right.
Oh.
We check back in with Ricky, who's getting treated by Janito, who tells him not to worry too much about the HIV test. Ricky admits that he has slept with his fair share of men, and due to this, he's likely HIV positive. And he tells Janito if that this is something that upsets him, that they don't have to continue to go out. Janito says that this isn't a problem for him.
Ricky, it's okay.
Are you sure?
No. I'm positive.
This has a mix of emotions here. He's taking in the news that Janito is positive with an air of concern, but also relief, since he's in the mindset that he is also positive. We now see Noah in the room, fully masked up, chatting with Ricky. They're talking about Noah's new pitch, because Ricky is wondering why Noah would want to take this gamble with Wade at the jumpstart of his career. Noah says that he's hoping that Wade is worth it. Noah rips off his mask, not concerned about catching anything from Ricky since he's been around him forever and hasn't caught anything yet. I'm no doctor. I want to clarify with this. Not a doctor. However, MRSA is spread through skin-to-skin contact. No, so is HIV. So we're getting ready for COVID early. I see Ricky shares with Noah that Janito is HIV positive, which I don't think really was his business to really share, but you know, his friends need to be involved in the discussion for the plot, so let's get to it. Noah asks Ricky how he feels about it, and he says he's relieved since he's probably positive too. Noah chastises him that they haven't gotten his results yet, so he doesn't know if he's positive. He says he already knows and that him and Janito are in the same boat, so it's fine. I also do want to stress that if you are HIV positive, your dating pool doesn't have to be limited to people who are HIV positive. There are plenty of people that have relationships with their partners who are HIV positive and they're not. Fight the stigma, fight the stigma, fight it, fight it, fight it. Whilst Noah and Wade are laying in bed, Noah brings up the fact that he's been asked to pitch to the studio. He asks Wade if he wants to collaborate, which Wade moves to shut down due to the fact that the first time that they tried it, it led to them tussling over the project. Noah says that since it's a completely new project, there should be less friction. Noah tends to Wade's hurt ego, saying that he could really use the help and he's desperate for the assistance.
If you really need me, how can I say no?
Noah says that they should get started on it ASAP, but Wade is hoping to make a different kind of friction happen.
We pitched to the studio Friday.
Friday? That's 48 hours away, if we don't sleep. We gotta get to work.
Given the announced timeline, Wade hops and skips out of bed to get started. We next see Chance in his classroom discussing corporate mergers when he comes across a picture of his little family of Eddie, Kenya, and himself. He then proceeds to use his classroom to discuss the pros and cons of a corporation with a major asset wanting to merge with a smaller, more independent company. The class proceeds to throw out some business jargon until Chance hears what he really needs to hear, which is just to talk to him and see what his intentions are, which is the out-of-the-box answer, apparently. I don't business. I do want to discuss our girl Abigail here that looks like she got class at 4 and she got a happy hour at 5. You're serving cunt? We're in economics class and you're here serving cunt? Noah and Wade are plotting their pitch, which is giving major buddy comedy vibes. Buddy comedies were having a renaissance in the early 2000s. Speaking of which, an opinion no one asked for, in a video full of opinions that no one asked for, my favorite buddy comedy from this era has to be 2007's Hot Fuzz. Noah says that they are missing something, and Wade assesses that what Noah really means is that he wants to make one of the characters gay. Calling back to the conversation they had in the first episode in the cafe. Wade says that since he has experience working with Will, that he knows that he doesn't want to venture too far out of his comfort zone.
We need to keep this one strictly hetero.
Noah does not seem convinced, but he keeps his mouth shut regardless, allowing Wade to take the lead. There's a reason why I'm single. There's a reason why I'm single. Because I would have been like, I think this is, I think I'm the last word here, bud. This is my project. You are running the coattails of it. Alex pays Trey to meet him at the grocery store, where Alex leads them down a path of reminiscing about how they met.
You don't remember?
Remember what?
Look at my card.
Champagne, pork ribs, sweet potato. Okay.
Alex originally seduced Trey with some severe home cooking and taking a chance on a stranger at the grocery store. And as Trey says, the rest is history. Alex wants to get back to where they were, and they seem to be making up for now, kissing in the Thor. Janito is extra cozy in Ricky's hospital bed, where Janito gives Ricky the permission to ask about his status. He asks a series of questions, mostly on how he found out and how he's doing now and if he worries. Janito says that his T-cell count is normal and his viral load is undetectable. Remember, undetectable, untransmittable, and he only takes 2 pills a day. He makes it clear that an HIV positive status is now something that is extremely manageable. Ricky asked Janito if he was scared that he was going to die. As someone who was in the medical field, this wasn't necessarily a concern of his because you get taught that death is inevitable and not to harbor fear for it.
What scared me the most was, and now this is going to sound silly, was the idea that no guy would ever want to kiss me again because now I had it.
This leads to a kiss from Ricky. Stigma is really a huge thing for STIs in general, but especially incurable ones. And if you're watching this, you're not alone. Make sure you check out your resources to make sure you're educated, whether you're positive or not, because knowing your status is super cool. In the evening, Chance goes over to Eddie's and they sit and talk in the backyard. Chance tells Eddie to give him 3 reasons not to marry him. Eddie is very confused by this, but he participates anyway. The major third reason that he presents is that cheating is something that did occur, and he said he would never be able to forgive himself for doing so. Chance then asks him for 3 reasons why he should marry him. The final reason is that Eddie is sure that Chance will never find someone who loves him as much as he does.
All right. All right, what? All right, I'll marry you.
I mean, if you like it, I love it. I ain't gonna yuck your yum or nothing. But if a man drove me to commit a felony, that is my cute little indicator that I don't need to be messing with him again. Y'all do whatever you want to do. Y'all grown. Wade and Noah are in the office on Friday, delivering the end of their pitch. Brett, who's the executive there, is there with Brandy, and they both say that they like it, despite hating the name. But Brandy cuts in to say that the studio really has to love it, or it doesn't make the cut. But Wade then hits him with a, but wait, there's more, and says that the comedy duo that they have been following on this adventure is gay.
One's a little hip-hop and thuggish, the other one's kind of queenie.
Noah follows up on this last-minute edit to say that any real romance would simply be implied. With an In Love in Color reference, they seal the deal.
I think we just bought ourselves a pitch.
Honey, write your script. Send them in, because if it's like this, just start writing. Send it in. Chance and Alex are at the clinic discussing Alex's state of relationship. Alex says that the counselor didn't work, but he tried his own remedy and they are back to normal. Chance questions this, asking if normal was a healthy spot for them, because that's when all the problems started. But before Alex can really provide an answer, Noah comes in with Ricky, who is waiting on his results. Together, they find out that Ricky is negative, because for the people in the back, people who are promiscuous don't automatically have STIs. Chance slightly pops his hand up while holding the paper to show off his ring that Alex notices. No matter what feelings were reserved for Eddie, they all celebrate. Even though I found this funny.
Oh, Eddie! Eddie!
Noah's like, for real? Him? But they all seem to be pro SETI after this anyway, so it's fine. So that brings us to the end of episode 7. Noah and Wade have reconciled and have successfully sold a pitch together. Alex and Trey seem to be back to normal, whatever that means. Chance is getting married. And Ricky had a bit of a crisis in this episode, grappling with the thought of being HIV positive and learning his current love interest is indeed HIV positive. I yell at Ricky about a lot of things. I will be showing him some grace as he continues to learn about HIV, but I will still drag him where I see fit. We have 2 more episodes and they are absolute doozies, so I need to take a nap. If I look different, mind your business. Hello, it is another day and I return with energy to finish talking about this season. So we are at episode 8, which is called I'm With Stupid. This episode is named after the Static X song I'm With Stupid, and also for those t-shirts that were super big around this time. Did we bring it back? I don't think we need to. Don't answer that. We don't need to. We open in a church that has Garrett Morris preaching. The most random goddamn cameos. In Chance and Eddie's church. The guys are in the pew, plus Trey, Eddie, and Kenya. Noah's wanting to get home due to Wade taking stuff to his apartment so he can crash while his place is getting work done. Also, this sweet baby girl extra in the back is just a staring all up in their business. Do what I did in a church at that time and just draw in the Bible. It's fine. His friends are asking if he's looking to make this temporary move a permanent one.
Hell no.
Noah doesn't want to admit it, but he's not feeling entirely secure in his relationship with Wade. Still not completely sure if he will or won't go back to dating women. Noah comments on how it's weird being in a church, and Alex chides them for not coming to his church. Ricky mocks this church for having trans women in the choir and an out gay minister. And despite their cackling, Alex stands on the importance of having a place of worship in a place that loves you unconditionally, unlike the church that they're in at this given moment.
I know there are a lot of problems with the Black church, but it's one way I can stay connected to my childhood, my upbringing.
Chance and Eddie also feel like it's important to give Kenya a strong moral background and the importance of achieving that through church. My counterpoint is, do you want it to be in a foundation built by people that think your relationship is a moral failing? Nevertheless, it is their goal to get married in that church. And also, Ricky is flirting with a man in a different role, and I just like how obvious this is. They pass on around the collection plate and they're ready to pass around poppers. After church, Noah gets back to his house and is greeted with Wade waiting with all of his stuff. And I do mean like all of his stuff. He says that there's a lot in storage, but this is a lot to bring over for a couple of days, bestie. And he said his apartment is getting fumigated. Like, well, how deep is this fumigation that you need to go to this level? Noah offers to help, but Wade insists in handling it himself. He doesn't want to disrupt Noah's day. And at this, Noah goes to the coffee shop and writes a little bit. As for Chance and Eddie's after church activities, they go to meet with Reverend Allen to discuss their wedding. This brings a big smile to the preacher's face, assuming that Eddie is the best man.
Now who's the lucky bride?
I am.
While the Reverend says he teaches tolerance, the church board would not be as welcoming. Chance decides that he wants to meet with the board and campaign for his right to get married in the church. And even though this is met with some resistance, Chance is very adamant about this because it's important to him. And if he has to go against the most ignorant and unmoving clergy member, then that is simply what he will do. So Noah gets back home from writing and he finds his house in complete disarray. Wade's stuff is all over the place and he is cheery as hell. He cleared some space in his room for clothes. Noah says that it's fine as long as it's for just a couple of days.
Yeah, 2, 3, 5 at the most.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Let me see your lease real quick. Me and my good sis Google, we did some looking, okay? And all that ain't necessary for fumigation. You don't have to remove your stuff from your apartment like this. So next we see Junito stopping in Ricky's store with flowers to celebrate Ricky coming home from the hospital. Ricky takes this opportunity to tell Junito that he did test negative for HIV. He was braced for a very upset reaction. However, Junito only has happy exclamations for him. Junito says it doesn't bother him at all that Ricky is HIV negative because that's great news for him. Junito proposes that they make their plans to go out to be plans to stay in. Next we see Ricky in a position that we are used to seeing him in. He's laying Junito down and it looks like they're about to become intimate. Junito pulls out a condom, wanting to stay safe, of course. Ricky stammers out a suggestion for them to actually forego the sex and instead do something just as hot. Just saving the sex for later. Junito agrees to this. Ricky bears a bit of a concerned look look on his face while making out. A little while later, we see Ricky fully dressed and putting a cover over the slumbering Junito. Ricky's face is holding a lot of emotions right now, but he gets up, turns off the light, and leaves him to sleep. Back at Noah's apartment, we see Wade is truly wearing on Noah's nerves at this point. After hogging the bathroom for a bit, Wade comes out in a silk robe and a face mask, and that's on self-care, bestie. That is on self-care. Some of you manly men could benefit from a good skincare regimen, and that's on Alphabet Mafia or not, bestie. Noah does not have these same thoughts, however, finding his shelf engulfed with products. But what really gives Noah some pause is seeing that his mug, a mug that we actually saw back in episode 3, is being used to hold beauty tools. He calls Wade into the bathroom to discuss this, and Wade believes it's just a mug.
Not just a mug. My favorite mug. We've been going out for months, and I have my green tea in this mug every single day. It's the only one I use. You've never noticed that?
Wade does apologize for this and goes to wash it out. Now gathered with his friends, Noah shares the situation at Alex's clinic. Alex tells Noah he's overreacting a bit, and it's normal for couples to butt heads when they begin to cohabitate. Noah seeing the behind the scenes of Wade is a little bit much for him, liking the idea that he just kind of comes pre-packaged fine with no maintenance.
Drip dry boyfriend.
Noah asks for them to switch topics and volleys the ball over to Ricky, asking if he slept with Junito. At first he says yes, but it doesn't seem to be quite the case. His friends can kind of tell that the energy is off in his response. He then admits ever since finding out he's HIV negative, he's been hesitant to go further with Junito.
What's the difference between sleeping with Junito, who you know is positive, and sleeping with 1,000 other men, a good percentage of whom will be positive too?
The difference is, I know!
Ricky is hurt by the concept of falling for Junito because he feels like Junito is just gonna die. Alex clarifies that Junito is not punching his ticket for the Death Express any sooner than they will. This conversation gets interrupted by Junito calling Ricky, extremely irritated on the other end, considering that Ricky just left him in the morning. Ricky says he just didn't want to disturb his sleep, and that seems to placate Junito just enough to get him to agree to meet up later that night. We set the meeting place to be Ricky's store around 10, and then we will circle back to that later. Still in the clinic, Trey comes in to tell Alex about a recently completed task, only for Alex to pile on some more responsibilities to his day. Trey tells Alex that he has a basketball game, one that Alex is aware of. Alex doesn't see the issue with this, telling him it's okay for him to just miss one game.
Have you thought about maybe hiring a small construction crew?
Who needs a crew when I got Trey?
After Chance does a little bit more research for this board meeting, he, Alex, and Eddie head over to the church. We see Chance spitting nothing but facts at the church board during this meeting. From their own book, mind you, but none of them are trying to hear any of it. They pretty much hit my guy with the I ain't reading all that. He gets shamed at the table by some of the board members, but Alex shoots back by pointing out their hypocrisy.
So let's let go of the hateful and outdated ideas and keep the true message of Jesus. Love thy neighbor as thyself, and love God.
And that's how you clear a bitch. In the main hall, Chance shares his gratitude for his friend, but Alex says extremely plainly that they are not going to let them get married there, and that their expectations for a wedding venue need to shift. Eddie agrees with it, and Chance again stresses that it is important for him to get married there. Eddie tells them that they should instead focus on getting married where they feel loved and wanted. So we now see that the board has reached a decision. They are granted permission to have their commitment ceremony in the church. However, it's not allowed to be in the main area. It has to instead be in the reception hall. This is a compromise that Chance can't take and tells them no, which I'm sure is what they wanted. And the Reverend looks completely embarrassed by his peers. So the clock strikes 10 and we see Junito come into Ricky's store. He is greeted by Raphael, who tries to stop Junito before he goes to the back. After Junito goes back there, we see Ricky kissing a guy that we quickly deduce is not Junito. As the guy leaves, Ricky tries to be super nonchalant about this breach of trust, and he's only met with a stare down. Tries to goad Junito into yelling at him. Junito calls him out, and rightfully so.
Rick, if you want to break up with me because you can't handle the uncertainty of dating somebody HIV positive, just do it.
Ricky mumbles that he can't, and he chokes back tears, and Junito gives him a little forehead kiss and leaves Ricky to sit in the shit he just pulled. Noah was taking a nap in his apartment. He ain't got no silk pillowcase or no bonnet, so I know he must have had like one of them sud naps where you lay down and you ain't planning to be unconscious, and then suddenly you unconscious and you didn't prepare for your hair, but that's a whole other thing. He then wakes up to the sound of a dish breaking. This gets him out of bed to see Wade sweeping up the remnants of Noah's favorite mug and a kitchen filled with food. Wade says he was trying to surprise Noah with breakfast, but like, look at this absolute feast. Was this breakfast for the entire building? Like, you know it's just two of you, right? Noah graces Wade with forgiveness, and then Wade follows the show of mercy with a absolutely bonkers idea.
You get rid of this place, I'll sell my condo,
and we'll find a place together. Great, huh?
Noah can barely squeak out a response to this, and he's just pushed into the bathroom so he could prepare for a day of house hunting. In said bathroom, Noah tries to call Ricky, but only gets his voicemail.
This is Ricky. I'm probably busy getting my freak on. So leave a sexy message, and I'll hit you back.
You know what? This was the era of having some shit like this be your voicemail. Or it was a song that you waited all day to be on the radio so you could record it to be your voicemail. And it sounded like shit every time, but we still did it. Why did we do that? And he's wearing the shirt from the title in the song. And it's the shirt. It says the thing. Yeah. Noah's requesting immediate backup. Okay, this is my theory. Wade had to be out his place, or Wade was just trying to apply some pressure to Noah so they can move in together. Because are you serious right now? Y'all moving faster than lesbians. That brings us to the end of the penultimate episode of the season. So some things have shifted. Alex and Trey are still having some very visible tension, and we see some patterns repeating. Ricky has decided to blow up his relationship rather than communicate like an adult, still dealing with the HIV conversation that has recently entered his life. Chance and Eddie deal with fighting for the seat at the table before choosing to just find another table. And Noah is fatigued after dealing with Wade's daily presence, and he is reaching a breaking point with sharing space. And Wade cannot read this room that he's trying to share with Noah, because Wade takes this as an opportunity for them to make this move permanent. I said it was going to be a lot, bestie, and we're not done. Let's get to this final part. So, final episode. Episode 9, Got Till It's Gone. Got Till It's Gone is taken from the Janet Jackson song of the same name. Noah and Wade are out at an open house. While talking to the real estate agent, Wade shows that he's still working on being open in certain situations, because he quickly waves away any language that infers that they're a couple. Noah is burnt out as this is the 10th place they've seen today, and Noah tries to call Ricky again at his store. Also, I've never touched on this, but Ricky's store name is Trade Analysis. I'm not unpacking it, I'm merely mentioning it. Noah is desperate to get in touch with Ricky to chat through these life updates, but Raphael picks up instead, telling Noah that Ricky is at a hookup party.
Latino Boys presents the hookup party. All the thugs you can hug.
Raphael offers the address to Noah, which he accepts. Wade is still admiring the features of the house, and he's trying to rush Noah out to the pool. Noah says after that he has to go because he has to find Ricky. Wade is still adamant about looking at other places, and Noah finally calls up the info that he is very much not feeling this.
How do we go from you staying with me for a couple of days to house hunting? We're not ready.
Wade is irked that he has given up his entire morning to do this, and Noah brings up a very good point that Wade is not even ready to tell the realtor that they're a couple. So maybe moving in isn't on the dance card yet. And then this makes Wade walk off very frustrated. We see Ricky entering the hookup party, wandering around and being approached by many, but not engaging with any of them. Ricky even thinks he sees Janito and is downcast when it isn't him. Moments later, we see Noah walking into the same party. He pays his $10 entry fee to the front desk attendant and then goes to put away his coat. While Noah is de-scarfing, Ricky walks out without noticing him, fully clothed and leaving the building. Ricky is now in his car, doing what every down bad ex does. Call his ex and listens to the voicemail.
Hi, it's Janito. Probably off saving a life or performing some other saintly duty, so leave a message and be creative.
Noah's left to wander around this hookup party, basically on an unwinnable mission, whispering Ricky's name and dodging sex-minded suitors. There is someone there who is particularly tenacious about the D, so tenacious in fact that this causes the front desk attendant to separate them because Noah is clearly signaling no. So now I got a question, like, was this a shift change? Or are you also the intimacy interventionist as well? The thug in need of a hug takes his leave, and Noah tells the worker that he's looking for someone. The front desk attendant now takes the opportunity to hit on Noah himself. Like, you yelled at the previous man for doing exactly what you are doing right now in this moment. Also, who's watching the front? Who's taking the cover? Who's watching the coats? So Noah does not seem very receptive to this until he gets a kiss on the neck that gets him weak enough in the knees to fall on the bed that is so conveniently placed behind them. After some persuasion and the guarantee that it will be a one-time thing, Noah gives into another type of temptation. So we see a guilt-ridden Noah enter his apartment with his head down, only to see a clean space with every single candle in the building inside of it. Do you want a house fire? Because that's how you get house fires. Noah sits down and sees a new name mug. Wade trying to make up for breaking his earlier in the day.
I know it's not exactly the same, but I hope you like it.
Wade acknowledges that he got a little overzealous, but he really just wants to share his life with Noah. Ooh, we love a sweet partner after a bout of unfaithfulness trope. Oh my God, it hurts. It hurts so bad. Cutting away from a remorseful Noah, we see Alex packing a bag for the wedding. Alex scolds Trey for wearing lint-covered pants and having shaving cream on his neck, causing Trey to go back in the bathroom with a door slam. So Alex is hitting Trey's pants with a lint roller, right? And then he feels something in the pocket. And inside that pocket, it is a box that has a ring on it, and that ring has an inscription.
I will always love you, Trey.
And inside that same pocket, he finds 2 plane tickets to South Africa. We skip ahead to Alex talking to Noah with the fresh press about his findings, seeing it as Trey preparing to propose to him and setting his sights on a lovely honeymoon. He anticipates getting asked the big question at the reception, which if you do this, I low-key pray on your downfall. If you have coordinated with the newlyweds, sure, I guess. I still think it's tacky. Like, you know, I'm not gonna yuck your yum if you've like gotten permission. But if you do this at a wedding and you have not talked to the new couple, they have every right to treat your face like a piñata, bitch. Chance is having a time dealing with last minute wedding things, and Alex is trying to get Chance a bouquet.
I'm not carrying flowers, I told you. There's no bride at this wedding.
Very masculine flowers. Just come and see.
Noah takes a break from fiddling with the decor to sit down with Wade for a moment. Ricky slings in and Noah takes the time to chastise him for being MIA. Ricky says they'll talk about it later, but he can't even focus on that right now because we see a familiar gentleman sit right next to Noah. He and Noah exchange astonished glances before Noah excuses himself to the bathroom. The not-so-stranger follows him in. Turns out he is a friend of Eddie's! What a small world! This guy takes this as an opportunity to declare his genuine interest in pursuing something with Noah.
What happened to no strings, no complications?
What strings? I want complications.
They finally share their names because for some, that is a precursor to entering an entanglement, not for all. And we find out that his name is Malik. They share a fevered kiss against the sink right as Wade walks in. Wade breaks up the kiss by letting them know mid-embrace that the ceremony is about to start. Fuck, bitch. Fuck. The ceremony commences with Noah at the altar holding Kenya's hand as they both watch Chance and Eddie sign their domestic partnership papers. He looks into the crowd to see Wade and Malik sitting a seat apart. There were so many other chairs. This was so unnecessary. Oh my God. One of y'all can move. Mid-officiation, Malik leans over to tell Wade that he didn't know Noah had a boyfriend. It's because you were too busy putting your mouth on him to let him speak. Because if you see this clip, this is Noah trying to say, he didn't get it out, but like the words were there. Eddie and Chance finish signing the papers and then they kiss and then applause breaks out amongst the guests.
You can see how irresistible he is.
See, now you're just trying to start shit on purpose. Now you childish. Reverend Allen is in the audience and he does offer his blessings to the new couple.
Excuse me. Excuse me. You think you can sign up just one more union?
No, 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 no. This is truly like a video taken before disaster moment. Oh my God. Trey is confused what Alex is doing, but Alex says he wants to get married, saying that he knows that Trey's been planning it. He gets on one knee in front of Trey and asks for his hand in marriage. Trey then drops the bomb of the response of no. The crowd gasps. That wasn't a gasp, that was a hiccup, but you get it. At least it fit the occasion, I guess, this time. That's fine. Trey said that he's been waiting to tell Alex, ideally not in a hall full of people, that he accepted a relief mission to South Africa to work with AIDS patients for 6 months. He believes that time apart will do some good for them because the state of their relationship is not healthy right now. But he says that he does love Alex, so the ring is for Alex to know that Trey does love him despite the distance. I can't highlight all the conversation amongst the guests, so you have to simply watch this episode for yourself, but it is so funny. Alex then asks who the second ticket is for because there are 2 tickets. Guy speaks up and says it's for him. Trey follows this up with talking about how Guy found the mission actually and how he found it so inspiring.
Guy?
Amongst this commotion, Wade takes the opportunity to deck Malik right in the fucking face. Eddie yells at Wade for striking Malik. Wade says, well then get your mans because your man screwed my boyfriend.
It was a hookup party. He was down.
Eddie is now down for the count and Chance has to really get to that in sickness or in health portion to the vows extremely quickly. He yells for someone to call 911 as Wade storms out. Bitch. We now see people outside and Eddie is getting loaded into the ambulance.
We'll meet you in the emergency room. Okay. Eddie's folks took Kenya.
Good.
Wade gives Chance an apology that Chance does not seem interested in at this time. Noah and Wade talk for a little bit, awkwardness kind of in the air. And while Wade is apprehensive to even be in the same space as Noah, he does let Noah take him to the hospital for his hand. Ricky shows up just in time to give Noah an offhanded remark about Wade that is not really well received.
Just because you're broken up about Janito, that's no reason to go kicking your friends when we're down.
Ooh, Noah, you did kind of clock that correctly. Sure, you did definitely get yourself into this mess, but your bestie should be there for you in your right moments and your wrongs. And check you for said wrongs in an appropriate manner. Alex goes to apologize to Trey, but Trey says the apology really should be going to the hospital-bound honeymooners.
You're just gonna walk away from 7 years from everything that really matters?
It's sad that you think me going to look after AIDS orphans in Africa is walking away from everything that matters.
As Trey walks off, Ricky delivers another shady comment, but at least this time he has enough sense to apologize immediately for it. Time to check in with the infirmary gang. Wade's hand gets wrapped up and he is extremely hurt, and he tells Noah that he wants to get all his stuff from his apartment and that he'll simply move into a hotel.
So what? You hate me now?
Sir, this is a page right out of the Toxic Nigga Handbook, okay? This is some Dirty Sprite 2 levels of toxicity. Wade says he doesn't hate Noah, but he loves him, and that's the part that hurts the most. Wade may not have been a perfect boyfriend, and definitely had a lot of learning and growing to do. Even in his misguided attempts to try to move in together, like the focal point of that was wanting to build something with Noah. He didn't deserve to get cheated on. I can also see it from Noah's perspective, where he feels overwhelmed by everything changing around him, and how he can be tired, the roller coaster that is him and Wade's relationship. Cheating is bad. We do not have to argue that point, but I have also been on all sides of the cheating spectrum at some point. I've also grown a lot since my early 20s, so not too much on me, okay? Not too much. So I have a little bit more sympathy for the devil. Bianca, why weren't you sympathetic to Eddie? Because fuck him, that's why. I don't have to explain myself. Also, just like Chance said, he planned and plotted his cheating. They're moving something downstairs, and I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe you can, but I had to finish this. So the other three are seated in the hallway in the hospital, and they see a heartbroken Wade pass them by. Wade gazes at them for a second before walking off. A teary-eyed Noah is close behind, who they all gather around. Noah asks how Eddie is, and Chance says Eddie has a mild concussion, which tears more tears from Noah's eyes. Chance says they should go back to the reception to let people know that Eddie is okay before returning to stay with him for the night.
Our wedding night.
So the guests did not stick around for the reception, and the party turns out to just be the four of them and the wait staff, which I cannot believe, because there has to be at least one messy hoe that would have stayed for champagne and tea. Would I have been the messy hoe? Bitch, I might be. Okay?
What? What's so funny?
That was supposed to be our wedding song. Oh.
Ricky offers a hand to his friend, asking for a dance, which is actually a very cute moment, and Alex and Noah join in. The friends all dance among each other, putting the events of the day out of their mind, at least for a minute.
You guys, my man thinks I'm a hoe.
My man ran off to Africa.
My man is unconscious in the ER.
My man don't even know he my man.
They continue to move and shake as they wrap up season 1 with a little electric slide. Bitch, what a finale. Oh my god. Noah dumped. Alex on hiatus. Chance went to a blacked out man. Ricky afraid. I love this show. This final episode of the season still has me screaming every time. And I would love to know some of your favorite moments from this season. I'll be back as soon as I can for the first 4 of season 2. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.